Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my July wrap-up and my August TBR. So for the month of July, I read 5 books and 4 graphic novels, so let's just dive right into those. The first graphic novel that I read this month is My Little Pony Volume 1 of Ponytales, and this is just like a throwback to my childhood. I really enjoyed it. It was a very fun and lighthearted read, and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. And just to give you guys an example of how cool the illustrations are, they're very bright and colorful, and I really loved this. After that, I decided to pick up the second book in the Fallen Kingdom series, and that is Rebel Spring by Morgan Rhodes, and I absolutely love this book as well as the first one. I gave them both 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoy this. It's very fast-paced, very entertaining. There are a lot of different characters. I've heard that it's compared to Game of Thrones, although I've never read Game of Thrones, so I couldn't really attest to that, but I really enjoyed it, and it's made me kind of want to dive into Game of Thrones, although I'm still a little bit scared to do that, so I'm not sure how long it will take me to actually commit to something like that. Next, I decided to pick up The Walking Dead Volume 10, What We Become, and I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. The Walking Dead graphic novels are an absolute favorite of mine, so it comes to no surprise to me or to anyone else probably that I absolutely adored this, and I was very excited to finish this so that I could continue on with this series. After that, I decided to pick up Magonia by Maria Devana Headley, and this cover is very gorgeous. I really liked this book. The concept of it is a little different from what I'm used to, but the reason why I decided to pick it up was because everyone was talking and raving about it and saying how good it was. I did give it a 4 out of 5 stars. I did like it. It was enjoyable. The story concept, however, fell a little bit short for me. It was a little bit different, as I said before, than what I'm used to. This book is basically about a girl that has an illness and she has trouble breathing, and then she one day sees a ship in the sky and then somehow ends up on that ship. It turns out that the reason why she was having trouble breathing is because she had a feather in her lung. It's very unique. It's very interesting. I do recommend it. It's probably not one of my favorites, and I'm not sure that I would put it up there with Rebel Spring, even though I did give it a 4 out of 5 stars. Some of the writing in it was very beautifully written, so I think that's why I elevated it up from like a 3.5 to a 4. Then I decided to pick up The Walking Dead Volume 11, Fear the Hunters. Also gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. Then I was sent for review this book called Shattered Glass by Teresa Toten, and this is the advanced reader copy, and this is about a girl who was raised in an orphanage, and then one day the orphanage burns down, and because she's either 17 or 18, I can't remember, she might even be 16, she is sent out on her own because they no longer have a place for her, so she has to, you know, build her life, and they actually give her some information about her mother and her father, so maybe she can track them down. She also suffers from night terrors, and she has burns, I think, on her chest or stomach. I can't remember specifically where, but she doesn't remember exactly how they happened, but she does have recurrent nightmares of her mother harming her, so she believes that her mother was the person that injured her very badly at a young age, which is why she ended up in the orphanage. I think that this book takes place in the 1960s. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the correct year. I enjoyed this book. I gave it a 3.5 stars. It's a little different than what I'm used to reading, but nonetheless still enjoyable. I think people at a younger age would probably enjoy this more than me. I found the main character to be quite gullible. I did a full written review, and I will link that in the description below if you would like to check it out. Then I picked up Jaws by Peter Benchley from my public library. I had never read it before, and I saw it one day and was very intrigued to read it because I have never read it and I've never seen the movie, so I decided to give it a shot, and I absolutely loved that book. It was so good. I was really shocked that I loved it as much as I did. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. There were some parts that were a little dry, and sometimes it does take a little bit to get into the story, but all in all, I really enjoyed it. I have yet to check out the movie, and I'm not sure how, you know, it is in comparison to the book, but I definitely do want to check it out at some point. Then I picked up Pines by Blake Crouch, which is based on the TV show Wayward Pines. I ended up giving this book 4 out of 5 stars. I enjoyed it. Probably not as much as the show, but it was still quite good, and I don't know if I'm going to continue with the series. If I do, I probably won't purchase a physical copy. I will probably stick with the ebooks for it, but nonetheless, it was still quite enjoyable. And then lastly, I read The Walking Dead Volume 12, Life Among Them, and I gave this one a 5 out of 5 stars. So those are all of the books that I read for July, so let's get into the books that I plan to read for August. I probably won't be reading as much because, as you guys know, I have my big exam coming up in about 2.5 weeks or so, and then I also have family visiting at the end of August, so I don't really know quite how much reading I'm going to get done. Also, I have classes starting soon, so I've got about, I think, 4 maybe books that I plan to read, but I don't really know if I'm actually going to get to them. The first book that I would like to read is The Cure for Dreaming by Kat Winters. I read the other book by Kat Winters, the name is slipping my mind right now, but I really enjoyed it, and I've had this book for a while, so I would really like to pick it up. I think that it's about a hypnotist, but I'm not 100% sure. I just know that I really enjoyed her writing from the previous book that I read by her. The next book that I would like to read is The Darkest Part of the Forest by Holly Black. Again, I don't know very much about this book. I know that it's very fairy tale-esque, but that's pretty much all I know. I haven't heard too much about this book, so I'm kind of excited to get into it, not knowing very much about it. And obviously, the cover to this book is absolutely gorgeous. And the last 2 books that I would like to read this month are by the same author. The first one is the 3rd book in the Fallen Kingdom series, which is Gathering Darkness by Morgan Rhodes. I know that the 4th one is set to come out, I think, this year, but I'm not quite sure exactly what date that is. We'll probably put that on the screen somewhere, but I really love this series. It's so good, so I'm really excited to start this book. The next one that I want to read by her is A Book of Spirits and Thieves, and I'm not sure what the title of this series is going to be called or is called, but this is a completely new series, and I think it follows a completely different cast of characters, and I'm very excited for it because I absolutely love her writing. It's just amazing, so I cannot wait to start this one and see what it's all about. So those are all of the books that I plan to read in August. Not too many considering I have so much going on, but hopefully I'll be able to get through at least a few of them because there are just so many great books out there that I really want to read, and I just can't find the time to squeeze everything into a day that I would like to, so we'll just have to wait and see how it goes. I've also been thinking about filming a video about my bookmark collection. I don't know if that's something that you guys would be interested in, but let me know if it is. And if you guys are interested in seeing my 3rd bookshelf tour, let me know and I can film that pretty soon probably. So just let me know in the comments below what you'd be interested in seeing. Also let me know what you're going to be reading in August. I would love to talk to you guys in the comments, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!